Molson Export. Now, if you look at my cup there, that's a vintage Molson cup. I'm guessing about 20 years old from what I was told by the person that gave it to me. And any of you that have drank Molson recently would know that they used to have this ugly red label. This new vintage label is beautiful to me because it matches that old vintage cup. Anyway, over 200 years ago, John Molson set out to create his first ale and established a brewery in Montreal. In his quest to brew the finest beer, he sailed across the oceans and brought home the best ingredients to brew the quality beer that would become his lasting legacy. In 1903, Molson Export was created to honor his quest with some of the very same ingredients that John Molson used. We are proud to continue his legacy by offering a well-crafted ale with an exceptionally refreshing taste, Molson Export. I'm just glad that they have a vintage label again. It makes me love this beer. Molson Export. Even the cap has gone from just saying X on it to being the same boat sailing across the ocean. I love that it's gone retro. It's added some nice, beautiful value to it. There are still some old red bottles in the fridges at my work, and that kind of saddens me. But anyway, brewed with passion for over 100 years. Two types of hops, malt, and a strain of ale yeast that dates back to the founder, is what the internet says for this. So, you can keep yeast alive indefinitely if you know what you're doing. So it would be actually awesome to know. Well, it would be awesome if it was the original strain of yeast that made this, because that would almost make this a craft brew, guys. You all wouldn't agree with me, but if this was made back when the brewery was tiny, back in 1903 when it was one brewery in Montreal, it was craft brewed then. It would have been handcrafted. And anyway. Now, if any of you listen to the beer myths out there, there's a lot of rumors that Rickard's Red is this with molasses added to it. Whether or not you agree with that is your own thing. I'm not going to say whether I do or not. I've just heard that in my travels and in my talkings. Scent-wise, you've got some nice fruity undertones to a nice malty forefront. It's a nice spicy and zesty hoppiness to the end. It's actually a pretty good smelling ale. It doesn't have that usual scent that some Molson products have. It's a deeper brassy gold color than most of them are. Didn't really give me much head, but you know, this cup wasn't very head appropriate. I just used it because it was a Molson Export cup. What's the beer taste like? You know, I don't deny that my major beer love is with the craft brews. I won't deny that. I won't ever take that away from myself. But I like to find good macro lagers out there. This one is $33 a 2-4, so it's not bad. I mean, it's $4 more than your budget 2-4s. And it tastes pretty good. It's soft. It's smooth. It goes down very easy. It's a very easy drinking beer. The carbonation in it is so subtle that I could probably chug an entire bottle and not think of it. It's malty up front, subtle malt though again. As it crosses your tongue, you get these nice fruity sensations, a bit of apple. There's a bit of grape in there too. But that apple fruitiness is as the beer crosses over your tongue, you get a nice bit of apple fruitiness in it. There's another sweet fruit in here that I can't put my finger on. There as well, quite subtle. And then it says online that it has a refreshing, spicy, hoppy aftertaste. I would never say it's a spicy hop aftertaste. There's a slight hoppy sensation coming up the back of your throat, but really it's almost a dry beer. It's almost aftertaste less. That appley taste is in the back of your throat, then that slight hoppy taste comes up your throat, and that's about it. I mean, I know most of the people out there on YouTube land and on the internet strive to not drink the average beers. But if you're out and you need an average beer, this isn't a bad one to choose. So I'm going to have to give this a 6.5 out of 10. So Molson Export 6.5 out of 10 only because I only had given Molson M a 7. So thank you for watching the Albino Rhino beer review. Good beer drinking to you all. Have yourselves a very good night. Go out and get a retro case of Molson Export if you just need a somewhat cheap beer to sit around and drink with. $4 more expensive than the budget beers is not going to kill you. Bye.